Hello and welcome to Critical Strike episode 55. My name's Kyle Dumont, and with me, as always, is Mr. Josh McNell
Hello, people.
and special guest Steve John.
I am a monster hunter!
Are you here to kill Josh?
Possibly.
Wait. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you.
Can I skin his face and wear it?
Hey, whatever. You're the monster hunter. I don't really know what you do.
There are a couple of listeners who do want to wear me. All right, I'm just saying. So I might as well add you to that list of people not to hang out with.
I'd always knew you'd be a bottom,
Greaves.
Josh. Always knew you'd be a bottom.
Yeah, it's not right.
Yeah, a pair of Nacero Greaves.
I need to get out of this podcasting business because people want to murder me.
Oh, I was suggesting that they wanted to insert their penis into your anus and wear you that way.
Well, they want to do that too. They want me to be their cock warmer.
Cock sheath.
Yeah. This is a very awkward introduction to an episode. I'm definitely already off my element because I'm being told that Steve John wants to murder me.
if it's uncomfortable for you, just imagine how I feel.
I know Steve John. That's definitely weird. All right, but let me get that out of the way. Here with us is Mr. Lifelike from the Gamesmen, and they do a wonderful show. A lot of RPG talk, a lot of video game music too. Actually, they focus on some music in their breaks. They ripped that off from us, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's only one video game podcast, video game music podcast in this business.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, Kyle, you did your first critical music.
Yeah, I'm not gonna rip on you for doing those anymore, or for not wanting to do those anymore. Those are pretty tough.
Yeah, and I did want to say congratulations, though. You did a really good job, and there was a lot of great feedback from people about your episode. And
Well, that's good to hear. Thank you for editing, because I would not have known what the fuck to do. I would have just put all those MP3s together in Audacity, exported it, and then shipped it off to iTunes.
right. But actually, Mr. Steve John here, John Steve, had a good suggestion for us when I was telling him I'm thinking about not doing critical music anymore
Yeah.
because it is a lot of work, and it's not something that I have the time for at this present time. So he came up with a good suggestion of maybe I do half of an episode and then you do the other half, and then we'll be there together to discuss it. When he first suggested that to me, I was like, no, I don't really want to do that because
It sounds really gay, and it could be chaotic, and we're going to be at each other's throats. Just like any normal, loving relationship.
that never even crossed my mind. Actually, what crossed my mind was critical music to me is an intimate thing where I'm letting people know what.
Nothing.
It's an intimate thing for me where I let people know the music that I care about, and it's kind of a neat way to express yourself. So to have you there, it's kind of cutting out some of that for me.
So instead of it being making love, it's an awkward threesome with a friend.
Yes, I guess.
Can we Eiffel Tower the critical music?
Maybe.
Okay.
But it's something that like I was thinking about after I told him no, never. I'm never doing critical music with Kyle.
Thanks. Thanks.
And now maybe for like the now second to final one that I'll do, we can do that because I do have one in the works already.
So we've only got two left.
For me, I mean, I told people that you can keep it up.
Oh God, I don't have the repertoire of video game music that you do.
Like, because Steve, John, and I have been discussing it a
Repository
few
fuck.
times in text messages where I was like, I'm taking a break from it, and Kyle can keep it up. He's like, don't let Kyle do that.
Here we go. Critical music cannot go away.
I'm not saying it's going away. It's a mere break. And like I said, Kyle, he can keep it up. If he wants to keep going with it, I would not stop him at all.
I know
Josh,
with Kyle's like his critical music, this last one, I did realize that he and I need to virtually hang out a lot more often.
Did you also play what the fuck was it called? That awful video game no one else played? Orson Scott Card wrote it. What the fuck is it called? Advent Rising. That's it.
No.
I think I'm the only person on planet Earth who played that.
Yeah, I don't think I even played it.
You had me at Eternal Darkness.
I'm sure I had a lot of people at Eternal Darkness.
See, that is not a song I would have used as an intro either.
Well, I thought it was just interesting because it was an interesting sound because it was all, soundy.
Yeah, it was all right. It's just it wasn't like I like to come out with a blast on my first song, and that had some cool moments, but it was too laid back. I would say mid song.
It was the voice acting that was late into the track already. It was atmospheric. I will say I love that. I mean, I love the atmosphere of Eternal Darkness, and any chance I get to revisit that, I'm happy about it.
Eternal Darkness, though, is something I probably should have used on the Halloween edition of Critical Music.
Yeah, I was actually really disappointed you didn't.
Well, I wanted to fit because Silent Hill has some great music, and a lot of it was Silent Hill. So, though, actually, during that period, I realized how terrible the Resident Evil music is. So, yeah, congratulations on your Critical Music.
Oh, thank you, sir. And I'm glad everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah. And I suppose it's time we get this going. So,
All right.
Steve John, what have you been up to lately?
Well, I was ill at the beginning of the week. This was my first week's vacation for the year. Yeah, I was pissing out of my ass pretty good for the first few days of my vacation, and I actually call it IAL, involuntary anal leakage, is kind of what it was.
Horrible.
Yeah. And
did you need a diaper?
And almost, I should have. At some point, it was awful. I don't know. They say that there was something going on around here about eating giant eagle lettuce or something like that. And I had bought bagged giant eagle lettuce and actually had eaten it all week. And I think maybe that's what got me. I don't know.
Wow.
That was giant eagle lettuce.
A grocery store, their bagged lettuce, like shredded stuff.
Yeah.
So that might have been it, because actually my wife and I were both ill, so that would make sense. But anyway, I digress. I had plans on finishing Final Fantasy XIII. I had plans on finishing God of War 3, so I could get back to the goodness that is Monster Hunter.
Well, I saw you playing God of War 3 last night.
Yes. I actually finished Final Fantasy yesterday, I think.
No, very nice.
Yeah, I finished it.
Oh, wow.
And I appreciated what it tried to do. I think it was one or two sort of sub-story arcs, smaller story arcs, from being like a full-fledged Final Fantasy narrative.
Yeah, like I'm kind of getting a little bit tired of defending this game to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, basically all I can say now, it was a great experiment to see what they can get away with. Now let's see what they do with 15.
Yes. Yeah. Or even think about Versus 13. Even though it's not going to be traditional, I'm anxious to see what will hit the cutting room floor and what won't.
Right, yeah.
What is Versus 13? Is that going to be a fighting game?
No, I think that takes place within 13, like where we're at, or is it completely different story? I thought
it's same universe. It's still the Fabula Nova Crystallis story or whatever, but I think it's more like Kingdom Hearts. It's more action RPG-ish.
It's supposed to be more story based too, from what I understand.
So. But it'll be interesting to see if there's an airship. It'll be interesting to see if there's like an overworld map. I'm anxious to see all these things.
There's no airship or overworld map in 13?
No.
Yeah, like 13 was basically like all right, cut out every tradition we have and let's try something new, see how well it's accepted. And it was and it wasn't is the problem.
If it was not as beautiful as it was, it would not have been. Believe me.
Oh, that's one thing you can't take away from that game is how amazing it looks.
Yes.
And how smooth it is. It like a great example to me would be Uncharted, okay? Uncharted 2, you load the game up and then you never load again from that period.
Yes.
Like you just keep going. Like you have a cutscene, no more loading. There's absolutely that to me is a prime example. God of War 3 too, where these developers have these systems down now. You know, like we're getting smooth, gorgeous creations, almost cinema versions of what I love.
Yes.
And they got that with Final Fantasy. They got that with Uncharted and God of War 3 as well.
I mean, it comes with age. I mean, as the console cycle deepens, I mean, we all know that compression techniques get better, and script compiling gets better and things like that. I mean, and now, like you said, most of these things that were hard for difficult for us to see at the beginning of the life of the console, now they're running at 60 frames per second.
No, what really unlocked the power was when they started making the PlayStation 3 the lead platform, and they started utilizing the fourth dimension.
Exactly.
Josh, we've had this discussion before. I don't want to get upset with you. The fourth dimension already exists.
Yeah, it exists because Ken Kutaragi created it and patented it.
Oh, God. This is like 2 years ago. Let's just stop. I'm getting a headache.
Yep.
But yeah, I think the lead SKU being the PS3 makes all the difference in the world. And now 360 owners are starting to see kind of what the PS3 went through for the first few years of its life.
Well, basically what it is you're creating a game on your most difficult platform, and you're getting all the issues out of the way there.
Yes.
And then you're taking it over to 360 and perfecting it for that. So it makes sense. Why not get the development process through on your most difficult one, but perfect it and then take it to the easier one? I don't see why they weren't doing that earlier on, rather than going on Kotaku and saying the PlayStation 3 is difficult to program for.
Well, I mean, no kidding. I mean, you look at the DirectX, which the X in Xbox stands for DirectX. It's a console version of DirectX, and all those API and everything are already written. It's it's kind of a no-brainer. I don't know. I don't know why this shift didn't happen earlier than this, but it had to be the console numbers. It had to be the install base. That's the only thing I can figure.
Definitely, it had to be the install base, but it also became a great cop-out.
True.
So, Final Fantasy, God of War, you beat them both?
Yeah. No. No, God of War, I'm probably about halfway through. I've just been kind of slowly slogging my way through it, and it's neat. I'm liking it better than I did originally, because I thought I was burnt out from playing the trilogy, and I think that was actually the case. But now that I've had some time to kind of cushion in between those two, I'm enjoying it a lot more, and I'm
right on.
I'm playing a ton of Monster Hunter Tri. Man, I can't stop. I can't stop.
Oh, God. I see Rabid Scotsman. Every other tweet is, oh, my God, Monster Hunter Tri. It's so amazing. I wish I could play all day.
Well, Scotsman is your textbook definition of the obsessive compulsive gamer.
Right.
Once he starts to play something, he needs to finish it, even if that means 500 hours. So
yeah, I gave that up a long time ago.
Yeah, I think he has 150 hours on Monster Hunter right now.
Oh my God.
I believe it though. I mean, that Monster Hunter though is a game that will suck you in, like White Knight Chronicles did for me. That's doing to you guys in a way.
Exactly. It did that to me on the PS2, and it's doing it to me again now. Now realistically, my head's pulled down out of the clouds. I mean, I don't have the time to dedicate to it that I used to, and I realize that. But I'll tell you what, even being sick for 3 to 4 days, I felt like I was behind. And I was dreading turning the machine on today to get back to it, and I'm like, what's the point? I'm so far behind everybody else. So
let me ask you though, like, how is the online working for that?
The online's been great. I mean, Scott's been having some issues with his router, but that's just on his personal connection.
Right.
But
right.
It's set up just about the way that anything else online would be that doesn't have some kind of proprietary service running in the background. I mean,
So it has like a lobby system.
yeah, it has
Yeah.
servers and lobbies, and then once you get into the lobby, then you build your own city, which is only 4 people because they had to restrict it for WeSpeak, which works rather good for what it is if you consider it to be the MacGyver technology that it is.
See, something like that though, I think we would just end up using Skype.
I would probably say yes. It would depend on how much you're in pugs, pickup groups and things like that, because you have to be registered as a friend with somebody in order to use WeSpeak with them. If I meet you and I don't know you, I don't have you on my in-game friends list, which is different from your WeFriend code list.
Right.
Then I can't speak to you until we're friends. So that's kind of the way that they've guarded the back door against Nintendo's little kitty policies,
Okay. That's fair enough. Like, yeah, Monster Hunter for me though is a series that I've never really been able to get into. Like, I've never really I tried the ones on the PSP, and I just didn't get it.
It's a lot easier to get on a bigger screen. I will say that first off, but I would just say try it, rent it if you have GameFly. It is definitely not for everyone, no doubt.
Have you played White Knight Chronicles?
No.
Okay, because one of the things that everybody always told me is White Knight Chronicles is like a hybrid of Monster Hunter meets, X game. So, like, I was like, well, if I like White Knight Chronicles, I might like Monster Hunter.
You might if you like Japanesey hybrid Incan, Indian, crazy Samoan, something like that.
You had me at the Japanese part, but lost me at everything else.
Yeah, no, it's very very Eastern game design, but the art direction and everything kind of takes like an Incan type of I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like it's all. Everything in the world is obviously organically built from the items that you skin off of monsters. So everything corresponding to that follows that sort of motif.
Okay.
It's very, very neat, very time consuming, but I think it's worth a look. It's worth dusting that little white console off for.
Oh, I've been using my Wii a lot lately, actually.
It actually renewed my interest. I hadn't been playing mine for a while.
But here's a question for you: are you at all upset? Like, obviously you're not upset, but are you disappointed that they didn't put it on the high definition console where you could see that amazing art style?
I would have loved to see it on the PlayStation 3 like it was originally intended, but I mean, obviously the development costs were too high, and they made a decision and went with it. It's right now it's positioned where it's not going to get a lot of love, but I am thankful that I know enough and read enough and am informed enough to receive a bit of that love. So,
well, Monster Hunter, as far as I know, anyways, in the U.S., has never really been a great seller.
No, not at all.
It's been good, but it's not like Final Fantasy level, or it's not like it is in Japan. Like a Monster Hunter game comes out in Japan, forget about it.
Well, I mean, think about it. Try is a subscription service in Japan.
Is it?
Yes. Oh. On the Wii, it's one of the. It might be the only pay-to-play Wii game. Period.
Wow.
Because they know they can get it.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Because, like, back when we read video game news and the Japanese sale charts came out, all you saw was, Monster Hunter.
Yes.
Final Fantasy and whatever. So, yeah, it's interesting. I just wish that they brought it out on a console that it might have been more accepted on.
Yes.
Because Monster Hunter, to me, is notoriously a hardcore game.
And as far as, console-wise, the series has been a mess. I mean, you see the original on the PlayStation 2. Then it was ported. They made a second G for the PS2, and then Monster Hunter Freedom Unite was
Freedom.
Yeah, it was a port of the first one, and it was on the PSP, and now it's on the Wii. So I mean, it's just shifted console like crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they gotta do what they gotta do with that series that doesn't sell well. They're gonna go where they think it might sell the most.
Yeah. And by rights, it should sell because it is good. It is damn good. And for the price with a Black Classic Controller Pro and a 500 points Wii card for $54.99, you can't beat it.
Exactly. Fair enough.
That's it for me. That's about it.
All right. Mr. Kyle.
God damn it, I wanted to go before. All right. Yes, Josh.
Do you Mr. Kyle, what have you been up to lately?
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn the beat back.
Been up to a few things.
Like pooping.
Like pooping. Yes, the pooping. But finally decided that I was sick and tired of Bioshock 2 and sent it back.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
How long did it take you to be sick of it?
I don't know. I lost interest in it probably within the first week that I got it. Because it was just Bioshock with tacked on crap.
Yeah, it's amazing to hear like how many people were really let down by that game.
I mean, story-wise, the multiplayer was fun. I enjoyed the multiplayer, but like the story,
Yeah, but you're not much of a multiplayer person to begin with.
well,
You are, but you aren't. Only with friends, really.
yeah, with friends. But the thing that killed me was it was Call of Duty. Like they copy and pasted Call of Duty controls, and I never played that much. So everybody had a leg up on me.
Controls. I love Call of Duty controls, though. It's so fluid and so easy to handle.
Yeah. But I said, you know what? Enough is enough. I'll return it, and hopefully I'll get something good. So
Okay,
I returned
get?
it, and I forgot to add shit to my queue. And lo and behold, I was rather surprised when I got the text saying that Arkham Asylum shipped.
Oh.
And I went, why the fuck did... Oh, that's right. I rented that like 8 months ago.
So you've been the goddamn Batman.
I have been the goddamn Batman. Let me tell you, it's pretty good. The Riddler stuff is a little weird. It's
Now, the Riddler stuff is just going around and answering puzzles and then collecting stuff, isn't it?
yeah.
Okay.
But dude, the
And-
last 2 or 3 are like weirdly awesome. It's worth all the weirdness of the Riddler, the little riddles, just to get to the end of it.
Everybody I talked to about that game said the Riddler stuff was a lot better than like the main Joker stuff.
I
The
like
Riddler
it.
stuff, his riddles are stupid as shit, though.
Yeah, they're not too well written, but
No, it's not only that. Like, if he tells you the riddle in the first place, he will keep repeating it over and over and over. And he's like, no, idiot. They see it. Maybe you saw it, too. In the playground. Over
I'm
there.
going to go to the
with the
roller
seesaw.
coaster.
There's a seesaw I want you to go take a picture of. Go take a picture of the seesaw. and that's what you have to do. So you can either go and find out, what it is at the first time, or you just sit there for 5 minutes and idle, and it'll tell you where to go.
Wow. Well, nobody said the Riddler was a patient man.
No, but it's collectible stuff. It's pretty fun. I was having a really good time with it, and then it hit me exactly what the game was like. It's a Metroid game.
yes, it is.
What?
Yeah, it is a Metroid game.
Yes,
you
it
go
is.
around and you collect various things to increase your ability to explore, to get more things to progress the story.
When
Okay.
I wrote my platinum retrospective review of Batman, actually I don't think I platinumed it. I don't think. But anyway, it was a retrospective, and that same week was when Metroid Prime Trilogy had come out, and I was playing them both at the same time. Much to my surprise, I realized, hey, aside from the first-person, third-person thing, this is kind of the same game.
Yeah, but it's still really fun because you're the goddamn Batman.
Exactly.
And going around and beating the shit out of people is really fun.
But how far are you?
Probably 3 or 4 hours. I got the blasting gel, and then right now I've just been running around and doing Riddler collectibles.
I had thought to myself that I would have much rather seen maybe a few different items, and not so much items, but wearable things, like costumes and things like that. I think that it kind of would have been. I don't know. I think it would have added a lot to it. Yeah, I don't think you found the little place that is there on the island that probably has no business being there. But
no, probably not.
Yeah, I don't want to speak. I don't want to speak
I did not
cryptically.
get it through your innuendo.
Yeah. So
See the saw? The saw? Do you see it?
It was really bad. But I'm enjoying it. Hopefully, I'll beat it. Although I'm notoriously bad at not beating video games.
Yeah, like time is a real issue.
Yeah.
Like, if I get sick of something, I'm getting rid of it. It's done at that point. I'm not bothering anymore. I remember I tried the Arkham Asylum demo on PC because there was a sale for it where it was like $10 or something like that, and I ended up liking it, but I didn't buy it for the main fact that you had to use a 360 controller. You couldn't map your controls within the PC version.
yeah.
So I was like, all right, fuck this. I now lost interest. If I can't set up the way that I want to and not use a 360 controller, then fuck off.
I mean, in this day and age, why shouldn't we have complete customizability over control?
Well, it's a fucking PC game, you know?
I know.
But it looked awesome. Like, the voice work in it seemed really cool.
Oh my god, that is the best part about the thing. It's the voice work, because it's all the people who are in the animated series are in the video game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like Mark Hamill, he does a great Joker.
Yeah. Kevin Conroy and Arlene Sorkin and all. It's fantastic. I love it. But Kyle, do yourself a favor as you're playing through it. Try to spend the least amount of time that you have to in detective mode, because I spent most of the time of the game, and it's so easy to do in detective mode, and you kind of lose how beautiful the world is that they created for the game.
That's pretty much what everybody said too. Yeah,
But detective mode is win mode.
I know it is.
Yeah, everybody always said that detective mode is the way that they went through it. Like, they don't think they ever played it without detective mode. And, yeah, you will lose that perspective from what all of them said. And the little bits that I played of it, the environment is actually really well done.
Everything's really well done.
Yeah, I need to play that game. I really need this. I'll probably GameFly it for the PS3.
Yeah, I think you will honestly really enjoy it, because it'll probably be more similar to a Castlevania game, which you love.
Well, it's a hybrid for me. It's more like a beat 'em up, and a Castlevania / Metroid game where you are seeking things out to improve it. But it generally comes down to, for me, it's a beat 'em up.
But I think at the same time, I think there's stealth elements that it did better than. I mean, I know the limited few minutes that I played of Splinter Cell Conviction. I like the way Batman did it.
But Splinter Cell Conviction isn't meant to be a stealth game like the previous ones were.
No.
That to me is more of a beat 'em up now too.
It's getting there. It's kind of a run and gun thing.
Bring back Double Dragon.
Okay, I guess that was the 360 side, so now I'm going to go over to the PS3 side.
Oh God, Kyle's got a PS3. Remember, everybody.
I know. So I played White Knight Chronicles for a bit. As an RPG, I'm enjoying it more than Final Fantasy XIII.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it has that more classic. It just has the right feel to it as an RPG.
It has a traditional feeling to it.
And it also reminds me of Final Fantasy XI, to which I was hopelessly addicted to several years ago.
Right. It has, like, 12 had that good, you feel like you're in an MMO environment, but White Knight Chronicles does it better.
Yes.
And the story might not be all that great.
No.
But it's not terrible.
At least what I've seen, it's pretty cookie cutter.
See, there were parts of it that I really enjoyed, like when you unveil the knight.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Was cool, and I don't want to say any more.
Yeah, don't.
Okay.
I mean, what mechanically would you do in Chronicles 2 to make it closer to that perfect JRPG?
I
don't know.
I think that really what they would have to, like, for me, if to make White Knight Chronicles 2 better, there's a video that they released in Japan before they released White Knight Chronicles to show what the game was. And there was a lot of things that were changed. The presentation in White Knight Chronicles isn't exactly the best. It doesn't have that feel like everything is so well polished like a Final Fantasy game would.
Yeah, that's It's not a terribly good looking game.
Well, it is a good-looking game, especially when you're out in the environments. But what kills you is that video that they released. Like, in Final Fantasy XIII, when you go into the menu system and you select a character, and it shows like that brief video of them like turning around or something.
Yeah.
Like White Knight Chronicles had like everything like that. The menu system was just so well put together. It had this amazing presentation to it, and for some reason they took it out. And there were different things with the combat, like it just looked a lot more fluid. It looked a lot better, and now it's basically like it has a pretty cool combo system to it, where you can link several moves together, and it'll do it. But it looks kind of janky. Whereas in that video that they released, it looked perfect. Now, if they can get it to what they did with that and improve a couple other things, like having more quests available for the online early on, so like you don't have to repeat the first 4 for 30 hours, would have been amazing. And I hope they do a second one, because the online presentation alone was great, because you had a message board there, you had like a guild set up, and you can all go in and buy quests and do all that, and you rank up together, and then go back. After you do a quest, you go back to your diorama, and depending on how you did, things might have grown in it, so you can harvest materials and fruits and all this other stuff.
That's the point of the diorama, is just to harvest stuff?
Yeah, you can sell items in there, you can harvest items and so forth. But what actually would be cool, because other people can go into your diorama even if you're offline. What would be cool is if I can have a bunch of vendors set up, and people can go into my town and buy items in there, and I get the money. Right now, you don't. So, like, if somebody goes into my diorama and plays a bunch of quests in there and harvests and buys things, I don't get anything for it, which is kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
I think, like, if they made it so somebody comes into my town, they do some quests, blah, 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 they buy some weapons and other materials, I get a taxed amount of that money, that would be... You would be building a more... a better online community within that game, and it would give people a reason to play. Because as of right now, like, my town is sitting there, I don't know what's going on with it, but it's not benefiting me. Everything that I put into the diorama is not benefiting me right now.
Well, now, are your multiplayer and single player game characters tied? Are they the same thing, or is it two completely different modes?
What you do is you create a character that the main character sort of has you tag along.
Okay.
So you play. Your character will be
In your party.
And you use that character for multiplayer. The thing is, if you use that character in multiplayer to level up, and it will be like level 15 when the rest of your party is level 4 in like the single player mode, which is what I found out, which sort of quickly made me lose interest in the single player.
No, see, I actually really like that.
Well, I have this overpowered Juggernaut who has a spell that, because I went with the spellcaster, that pretty much rapes anything in a certain radius.
Yeah, but I just like the way that everything was connected.
Yeah, I like that too, but then I've got like my main character who can summon up this huge, armor thing, and he's like, I'm gonna stab you and deal 2 damage. Well,
Just
that's
White
fucking
Knight.
great. Why not? I just use my other guy who deals 80 damage
Right.
to everything in a 50-foot radius.
Like, maybe if they made it so if you go online, you play with your character, your other ones kind of level up a little bit slower, or they level up close to where he is, depending on where you are in the multiplayer. And then, like Lost Odyssey, it scales with you. Like, the bosses will scale with you. Maybe if they did that, it would be a lot cooler.
Yeah. I still have to beat Lost Odyssey. And so do you, Josh.
I love that game. I don't want it to end, that's the problem.
I played Super Street Fighter 4, but I figured we'll talk more about it when you talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But surprisingly, for some reason, I just started playing WoW a lot. I just woke up and I'm like, I need to play WoW.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I've been playing it every night for like 3 hours.
Now, there is one thing that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me a message one night with a link, and it was on MMO Champion with all these pictures and things that these guys have gotten from the Cataclysm beta. And are you familiar with World of Warcraft Cataclysm, Steve John?
Sort of.
Okay.
Just in name and what it's going to do, its functionality. But smaller technical things, no. I've made it a point to avoid WoW as much as possible because I realized at this point I'd be recording from a cardboard box if I had started playing it.
Right. Well, they sent me a link with all these screenshots and everything of what these guys have taken within the beta. And I immediately went and text messaged Kyle, "Oh my god, I need to change my pants."
Yeah, what the screenshots look pretty awesome.
Well, I don't know if you've been checking them out each day because they've been updating it with more.
I have not.
They have, because in Cataclysm, Steve John, what happens is Deathwing from Warcraft 2, he
Sure.
after being tormented by the old gods for years while he's in prison, he breaks out. And when he breaks out, he flies through the planet, causing this cataclysm. Volcanoes start erupting and all these other things. And as he's traveling, he's literally covered with lava and he's on fire. And he's traveling over the land, destroying everything. So there's this one zone, as they call them, in Kalimdor, where the orcs live, called the Barrens. And the Barrens is basically, it's a barren wasteland.
It's more like a savanna.
Yeah, it's a savanna in a way. Well, that now has been cut in half by him traveling through it, and there's a huge volcanic thing in the middle of it. Like they literally destroyed the original game, is what it is. Everything has changed. Nothing is the same. Because in each expansion they've had, you've had Burning Crusade where you go into that place, Outworld,
Outland.
Yeah, Outland. And then you had Wrath of the Lich King where you go to Northrend. And then you go back to what was called Vanilla World of Warcraft, the original land of Azeroth. And now Azeroth is destroyed by Deathwing waking up. So it's just really interesting to see these lands that I've traveled on for 4 years now being destroyed.
Oh, it's going to bring people back just to see what it is. Just to
Oh,
see
definitely.
what happened.
So I was looking at some of these screenshots, and it's like, wow, man, I remember sitting there for hours with some friends and just tinkering around, and now it's all destroyed. It kind of gets a little bit emotional at times, really, because I spent so much time in vanilla WoW, and there's things in it that I love, and it's not there anymore. Like in Teneris, the Shimmering Flats, there's this little goblin raceway, but now that's underwater.
Oh no.
Yeah, and in the screenshot you see the signs from the raceway, it's floating and everything. It's kind of depressing, but at the same point, it's really interesting that they chose to go this route, and I love seeing everything they did.
But how will I get my carrot on a stick?
You don't. It doesn't work for new characters anyways.
Oh.
I think what an intelligent way to build a new MMO without having to build a new MMO.
Well, and what an intelligent way to bring people back to Azeroth from Northrend and Outland without creating more land.
Yes.
One of the big things that most MMOs, I don't know if you've ever played one, but one of the ones I played the most, Ultima Online, back in 1997, they had a land called Britannia, and then they had an expansion where they had this external land. Well, when that expansion came out, everybody was always in the expansion land. They were never in Britannia's land. So this is an interesting way to keep people going back to Azeroth, to go back and explore the new land. But people will also be in Outland and Northrend.
Yeah.
So it's a cool way and a nice solution to a problem that every MMO has had.
Well, I know there was a lot of talk, and I remember all this because this was all... Guild Wars discussion when they had started discussing Guild Wars 2, which was 3 years ago. I think it was the second year into Guild Wars or something like that, where they had talked about, maybe it was 2.5 or so, where they had talked about the next story taking place 250 years in the future, and that all the lands have changed and some have submerged and everything's different. And all this stuff where it was the same world, but it just, you would come across things like that. Like you would come across places that had been flooded, that had landmarks that used to be high atop, everything else that's now just barely peeking the surface of a lake. And, all this stuff. And titles was a big Guild Wars thing. Then they showed up in World of Warcraft. I don't know. I'm just kind of slighted. I'm kind of biased toward Guild Wars. I loved that game, and it was free to play. And of course,
World of Warcraft had them first, by the way. And actually, Ultima Online had them before that.
I don't know. I think that that there was a lot that each of these there's a lot that each of these MMOs borrow from each other at times.
Oh yeah.
And,
well, one thing that sorry to cut you off, but one thing that Lord of the Rings Online came out with was a thing called phasing. And
yes.
what phasing is like I can be in a zone and Kyle can be right next to me, but I'm further ahead in the questing part where I'm seeing something different than he is in the environment. So like in Cataclysm, one of the big things that's going to happen is as you're doing quests and raising up your character, the land is going to be altering. Like there's a place called Darkshore, and from the cataclysmic events of Deathwing, what's going to happen is as your character is going from level 80 to 85 and completing quests, you're going to see the land in Darkshore being destroyed even further as your character progresses.
Neat. That's pretty
yeah.
neat.
So that, like you said, that's something that they borrowed, but they're doing it better, But really, Blizzard does everything better.
It's the pedigree, yeah, no doubt.
But yeah, I mean, you can go back to saying what you were saying.
I don't know. I see that that I don't know. I had this thing, and it ended after Phantasy Star Online, where I would never ever pay a subscription fee again.
Yeah. I think the thing for me with World of Warcraft and Kyle actually is the friends that we play it with. I actually met Kyle through a friend through World of Warcraft, and I've met a lot of people on there, and we still talk today.
Yep.
And I think it's just definitely a community that we've ended up building up through this game.
No doubt.
And none of us want to let it go. Like, these other guys are really hardcore with it. I've kind of backed off a little bit due to work. Kyle's played off and on, but it's something that we've still all gone back to.
Oh God!
When Cataclysm comes out, I'm definitely going back to it. I want to see what they did to the world that I love.
Yeah, I know. Just at least sinking all that time into Guild Wars. That actually, I don't think there's been any game that I've played off and on for 3.5 years. Other than that, I don't think there's been anything else. And so I've sunk a ton of. a ton for me. 1,600 and some hours for a guy that really, that has a side business that works, 50, 55 hours a week at a 9-to-5 plus job, I sank a ton of time into that game. It was the only thing I played. Yeah. And I think much to the dismay of my consoles, because I shunned everything else to play that. And I don't know, World of Warcraft makes me wonder how much it influences, console sales and things like that, because I know there's a lot of people that spend that $16, $17 a month subscription fee, and that's all they do. That's it. There are people that would have bought 2 or 3 console games a month, or something like that.
Well, when I stopped playing World of Warcraft, one of the reasons was I missed so many amazing games in the PlayStation 2 era.
Yes.
And while I'll still play World of Warcraft, I'm not going to let it take over like it did. Like, I play very casually now. I'll go on and do some PvP and hang out with my friends, do some instances and so forth. But I'm not going to do the hardcore rating where you be there at 5 o'clock or you get, yelled at by a 13.
50 DKP minus.
Yeah, you get a 50 DKP minus and you get yelled at by a 13-year-old and you stay there until 4 a.m.
I can't believe you said World of Warcraft and PlayStation 2. Did you realize that you said that?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's hard to believe that it's been around for that long.
Yeah, and they're working on their next MMO already.
Wow.
Well, they have been, but yeah. So, Kyle, you've been playing World of Warcraft. We've derailed you enough.
Yeah.
just a little bit. I think what really caught my attention was I realized I had all this shit from just doing a random dungeon every once in a while and doing the PvP. And I spent it all, and now I have mostly epics. So now it's sort of blood in the water. Now I just want to improve the equipment that I have, so when Cataclysm launches, I'll be properly geared.
The random dungeon fighter, as we said on a previous episode, is one of the best additions that they've made to that game. And when they do that, is the random PvP stuff out there yet?
Yeah, it is.
One of the biggest things that they're adding in Cataclysm that I'm really looking forward to is I don't like the arena system. I think it's kind of for girls because you're fighting in pristine fighting conditions where you can't worry about somebody else jumping you from behind like they would in outdoor fighting.
Oh my god.
One of the things that I'm going to like is that they're taking the ranking system from Arena and adding it to Battlegrounds. So you're going to have ranked Battlegrounds. And at which point you'll be able to get even better gear from Battlegrounds, basically arena gear from Battlegrounds. And that's going to be probably what draws me back into it, probably full time. But one of the things that made me log on the other day is I found out that on my server they killed Arthas, the Lich King. And that basically made me want to go on, because they have a little thing where you can go click on a stone to watch the video of Arthas' death. And anybody who's played Warcraft 3 knows, everything that happened with Arthas. He was a holy paladin, had a fall from grace, ended up becoming a Lich King, and killing his father and so forth.
And decimating half the planet.
And decimating half the planet, turning on people, killing his mentor and everything. It's an ultimate fall from grace storyline. So I definitely wanted to see the outcome of Wrath of the Lich King. And seeing one of my favorite video game characters die in a way. I didn't believe that they were going to kill him. I thought that they were going to do you've defeated me, but I'll be back next time type scenario.
Oh no, he did.
They actually killed off Arthas. The one thing that most people didn't realize is there always has to be a Lich King. Yeah, you can't. If there is no Lich King, then the undead scourge will run rampant and destroy the planet. He has to be there to control them and to lead them. So one of the characters had to replace Arthas, so there is a Lich King again. So it's just really interesting that they killed off Arthas. I thought that they would have done something differently, but nonetheless, I really liked the way they did it. It was quite the cool video.
Yeah.
Because you watched it too.
Yes, I did.
And I don't know if you liked the Arthas storyline as much as I did, but yeah.
Are you still paying a subscription and not playing?
No, I've been playing.
Okay. All right. I thought you weren't playing for a while, and I thought you left your credit card to just ching, ching, ching.
No, I go on generally a couple times a week and do some PvP.
Oh, you're one of those PvP guys.
I am definitely into PvP. I've done both sides of the spectrum. I've done the raiding and I've done the PvP.
I'm definitely more a PvE guy than anything else.
Hey, that's what I'm on. If you play
like
World of Warcraft, you should join my guild. Also, the Critical Strike official guild, the Awesome Brigade.
Awesome Brigade.
It's not the official Critical Strike guild.
Yes, it is. I called it like 3 months ago.
All right, so you done, Kyle?
Pretty much. I just calculated how many hours I've invested into WoW.
Okay.
On one character.
All right.
That is a lot of time. It's about 550 hours.
I would be afraid to see what is on my warrior. Because my warrior was made the day that game was released. And I stopped playing him maybe like 2 years ago, and then I made it a druid. And I would be afraid to see what's on my druid, too.
It comes up every time you load up the game.
Yeah, see, I don't look at that section. Because that section is evil. It'll tell me how much time I wasted in my life.
That's 22 days, or 23 days.
Yeah, so, alright, we're moving on. have been playing some Burner Climax. It was released on PSN 2 weeks ago, I believe. Yes, for about $10. And it's Burner Climax. If you have any attachment to the old Sega game Afterburner, this is a very good addition and a welcome back to the series. And it's very hectic. It's pretty good looking. It's Afterburner. I can't say enough good about it. If you have to have some quick reflexes though, because this game, it punishes me at times. That's basically all I can say about it. It's just a fun little game. I'll get bored from playing Street Fighter or whatever, and I'll go and play some Afterburner. It has that cool little thing, as they call like the climax thing, where a woman where it slows down, and you can basically target everything that's on the screen, and all of a sudden you see a big fucking explosion because everything was just destroyed. Which you definitely need that, because it throws everything at you. But it's kind of fun doing barrel rolls anyways.
Do a barrel roll.
I was waiting for that. I was expecting Kyle to do it.
Yeah, I figured I'd let the guests do it.
All right,
Someone's
nice.
gonna do it.
That's right. I played some League of Legends on the PC. I wanted to talk about it a few weeks ago, but with work and everything, we haven't been recording. League of Legends, as I explained, I think in October, is a standalone Defense of the Ancients type game made by the original creators of Dota. And I haven't really played it since it came out officially in December or so forth. And this is kind of my return to glory. I played it with a few friends. I played it with the guys from the Rumble Pack, and they're pretty good. And I love all the new characters that they've added, but there's one thing that's missing for me. There's a character in Dota that I played religiously, and they have nothing like him, and that's sort of what's keeping me from playing it, because I don't have that feeling that I want from a game like that, where it's similar to Dota, but at the same point, I'm not getting that feeling, and I haven't been playing that much lately. The thing that kills me about it is this is a game that has an amazing way of keeping itself alive. I mean, this isn't pretty much an indie developer, Riot Games, and they came up with this model that I think other companies have done. By the way, Pittsburgh is now 2-0, but
Beautiful. I was just opening Firefox to see.
they have this model where they'll sell characters. Like every month, they swap out all the heroes that you can use. So, like, I might use a character named Rise, right, 1 week, and then when the next change comes up, he might not be available for me to use. But you can go in and buy all the heroes. So they give you a bunch of free ones, but if I want, I could buy them.
So
and they
it's free to play? I mean, with microtransactions or what?
It's free to play with microtransactions, yes.
Okay.
And that's a good model. It works. Because I've gone on, I've bought the heroes that I want to play. You can buy, upgrades. You can buy runes to upgrade your character. You can buy skins and everything. So that's a nice way of doing it. So you can go on, download the game for free, play with all the free characters, but if you want to take it further, you can support them and buy characters as well. And that is a model I wish other games would have on the PC.
The Lord of the Rings not Lord of the Rings Online, but D&D Online did that, and they're not faring too well.
Well, it's working quite well for League of Legends, but then again, you have to understand Dota has a really big following on the PC.
Well, Dungeons & Dragons Online is doing a lot better since they went free to play.
Have they?
Yeah, they've been doing a lot better. But
yeah, they weren't free to play to begin with.
No, it wasn't. It was subscription based.
Yeah, they were, I think $15 a month, like World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I was in the beta for that. It was.
Yeah. I played a little bit of it when it went free to play, and it's fun. It's fun. I just can't let myself fall into that again. I'm serious. I have such a wall up over that stuff because I'm afraid, I'll either be divorced and, like I said, in a cardboard box. I can't let myself do it. I have such, I don't know. I got my guard up. I have to make sure because I know myself. I know how bad I would fall into it. I know how badly I would do it.
And that's fine. I mean, as long as you recognize it, and that's perfectly fine. I'm the same way, but I'm keeping myself at arm's length with World of Warcraft. I'm not letting myself get consumed.
I have no self-control though. Once I do it, I can't. I like wallow in it like mud, like a pig in mud.
Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible.
But for me, like, I'm so satisfied. I'm so easily satisfied with World of Warcraft. Okay, like I can, like when I first started playing MMOs, I went with Ultimate Online, which is you're kind of looking down on your character perspective. Okay, and then I played EverQuest, where this was like your first 3D MMO. I was so consumed just by the environment alone. Like, oh my god, it's raining. I'm gonna go inside. Oh, I'm looking at the rain from outside this window. This is amazing. Type thing. Like, I love environments of MMOs for some reason. So like, I can just run around the world of World of Warcraft and see all the detail and the statues and the waterfalls and all this other shit, and I feel complete. Like, I'm just happy seeing that for some reason.
Well, I mean, that's the number one mechanic in an MMO that has to be interesting. I mean, isn't it?
Yeah, to some degree. Like, you definitely have to have a pretty nice environment with lots of detail. What helped me with World of Warcraft is playing Warcraft 3, and I knew the environment to begin with. Like, I know that part of the Blood Elf town has been blown in half because of the invasion of the Scourge. You know, I know all of that stuff, and now I'm walking across that in World of Warcraft after playing it in Warcraft 3, which is even better. It's like a total geek fest. Like, I'm gasming all over the game, you know? So that's one thing that helped me, to be honest with you. But yeah, League of Legends, it's a really cool game. If you have any interest in Defense of the Ancients, which is, I'm not going to go into it now. I mean, if you don't know what it is after all the time I've talked about it in the past, people, you're dumb. But I like it. There is no Mac client, so Kyle can't play with me.
Yeah.
Oh well. He was bad at Dota anyways.
I played it like 3 times.
He was terrible.
And every time you guys were like, you suck. Why are you playing Dota? What are you doing? No. You're dumb. Just stop.
Well, we took that game pretty hardcore.
And then I ran away crying. And then you guys were like, okay, like 2 weeks later, okay, maybe you should come back, you know, let's play again. I'm like, all right.
Why are you so fucking retarded?
Exactly.
Don't do that. Yeah, that's basically how it went.
That's not how you use that move, but I just wanted...
You fucking retard!
The whipping boy, huh?
Yeah. Oh, he was definitely our whipping boy back then.
What do you mean
So nothing's
back then?
Yeah, nothing's really changed. I treat you with more respect than they do now. And I think I was the harshest one on you back then.
I don't know who this they is, but they sound pretty evil.
Yeah. So my next game, before Kyle starts crying, was...
It's too late for that, Josh.
I'll have Rabid Scotsman spoon with you later. Don't worry about it.
I don't think I'd like that.
But he's a Scotsman.
But he's rabid. We have to put him down.
Oh. Well, that'll hurt the Gamesmen.
Yeah, you can't do that. You're gonna have to take one for the team.
Yeah.
I always take one for the team. I'm tired of taking one for the team.
Oh, it's all right, little buddy. Anyways, so I've been playing a lot of Super Street Fighter 4. In fact, I have put 40 hours into Super Street Fighter 4 already.
I don't believe it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got like, I think 20.
Yeah, anyways, Super Street Fighter 4 came out, $40 game. I have it on the PlayStation 3. Kyle has it on the PlayStation 3.
Yes, I do.
We've been playing with our good friends, Mick and Chipoko and Rich and Pete and a bunch of other guys from the Fanboys community. Actually, last night was the first time I played against Simon. It's a really good time, and there's lots of great improvements that they made from vanilla Street Fighter 4 with the addition of the Endless Battle, aka Quarter Match, where you can have 8 people in there, and it's winner takes next. Basically, it's me and Chipoko on top all the time.
Yep. Except for the odd time when I won or someone else won.
Yeah. It's been really cool. I love the new characters. They've added T-Hawk, Makoto, Juri, Hakan.
Good old
Ibuki.
Hakan.
Yeah, Ibuki,
Dudley.
Dudley, DJ. Yeah, they've added a bunch of characters. I think like 8 total on top of what they already had in Street Fighter 4. So you have a nice, well-rounded roster of different style characters. Like, you know, Chipoko and I were talking. In the past, you would either have a charge character or a Shoto character, a.k.a. Ken or Ryu. And now there's plenty of different types. And there's always something to counter another guy. So I have absolutely no complaints about this game, with the exception of the voice chat.
Yeah, voice chat's pretty awful, but I think it just sounds like you're playing on Xbox Live.
Well, no, the voice chat is terrible, dude. Like, you haven't been there when it's been a full room, and like I'll say something, hear it 20 minutes later. Like, seriously, of course I'm
Exaggerating.
yeah, but it is really bad. I'm hoping that's something they can fix with a patch, but usually what we end up doing anyways is we'll just talk on Skype while we're playing, because Skype is pretty much our new voice chat
Because it's
system.
so much better than everything else.
Right. Do you have any interest in Street Fighter, Steve John?
I do sort of. I mean, everything that I've read and everything that I've seen about Super Street Fighter 4 really makes me wish that I still had interest in fighting games and still had reflexes to play them.
Well, the nice thing about Street Fighter 4 is 90% of it is based on Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
So if you could play Street Fighter 2, you can play 4. It's very casual friendly, but it has those certain things that also bring attention to the hardcore. So like you can play it just like Street Fighter 2. You don't have to do the focus dash canceling and all this other shit. In fact, 90% of the time, I wouldn't even do it because I like using different types of moves instead. I mean, if Kyle can play it, you can probably play it.
I think that's saying quite a bit.
Wow.
I'm awful, but I'm not as bad as I used to be.
Right. And right now what we're doing is we're taking a bunch of the newer guys, you know, Pete, Rich, Kyle.
And kicking the shit out of them until they learn better.
And we're teaching them, though. Like, I'll be like, okay, Kyle, Mick is doing a focus attack. Don't jump into that, you know. We're working with them and trying to get them better. And like Chipoko, Mick, and myself were saying last night, we've definitely seen improvement in all of them. Like, Mick last night was saying, Kyle's doing a lot better. And I said, yeah. The biggest thing is you find a character, stick with them for a little while, and it'll definitely work out in the long run.
Yeah, I still have to learn to stop throwing the mid to high dragon or Shoryukens because you beat the shit out of me after that.
Yeah, I tend to do nothing but low punch dragon punches. And if you're accidentally doing them, what you can do is you can go into training mode and have it show you the inputs that you're doing so you can see what you're doing wrong. And like the big joke last night was I was talking to Mick about it, and I said, well, Kyle has some sloppy inputs. And that ended up being a big joke. Cause...
Oh, man. Was I asleep or was I there at the sloppy
that's after
inputs?
you left.
Oh.
Maybe you were asleep during the sloppy input.
Yeah. I it took me a second after I said it, and I was like, wait a minute. And we all just busted out laughing. But, you know, that's one thing you can do, though. Like, it has a training mode. It has a challenge mode where it'll say, okay, do this move. You do it, and then you move on to the next one. So it walks you through learning just to how to play Street Fighter.
That's pretty neat.
And for a $40 game, like, this is the ultimate version of Street Fighter.
It was even better because I got it for $35. Good old Amazon.
Right.
I looked at it this morning and I saw it for $40, but that $40 might be going to 3D.Game Heroes. I don't know. I'm not sure yet.
If you take it and rent it from GameFly, the Keep It Now price is actually $28 right now.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Right. It's definitely worth having. Like the box says, it is the ultimate version of Street Fighter. It has, you know, team battles where it can be like 4-on-4. It has the endless mode.
How do the team battles work?
I've only done one, and I never even got to fight. I think it's like...
Oh, like best 2 out of 3?
Yeah. Like, or the guy that wins will keep going, in a way, until, like, he's finally taken down. Then I would fight, you know, the other team.
Oh, okay.
Because I never got to fight. The guy that I was on his team, he just destroyed everybody. I got a trophy for it, though. It has match replays, too. You could sit there. One morning, I was just kind of chilling, and I didn't feel like moving, so I put the game on and had replays going, and it'll just keep looping them with new people, new people's videos. So I was just watching a bunch of fights. You can save your own and so forth. The biggest complaint I have is, you know, a lot of games on the PlayStation 3, well, a few, like Pixel Junk and stuff, have where you can upload directly to YouTube. I wish that you can do that with this. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, Street Fighter 4. Kyle, what do you have to say?
I think someone with a foot fetish designed the game, or at least was the lead designer.
There's only a few characters where you see their feet.
No. Almost all the women in that game.
Women don't deserve shoes.
No, almost all of them have bare feet.
Women don't deserve shoes.
And what sold it was Jury. Because I typed in Jury's name in frigging Google. You know what? Type in Jury Han in Google. See what you find.
Nah, I'm too lazy right now.
It's like the third hit is like a foot fetish website. And then it lists all the the Street Fighter characters that they want to do stuff with their feet to them.
Now, Kyle has a problem with seeing women's buttocks and stuff like that in the game.
It's just awkward. It doesn't belong there.
Why? Why can't you fight in a skimpy outfit, Kyle?
I don't know. It just doesn't seem very combat friendly.
I don't see the problem with it.
I mean,
if
it's like a bubble ass, then it would be rather. I don't know. I could see it taking your attention away from fighting. It could be rather distracting.
No, that's Rufus.
Well, that was my tactic against Simon last night. He has a thing for some of the women in the game, so I would pick
some.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, and all you would be like, oh wait, no, just crouch real quick, and
Oh yeah, that's Simon. Yeah.
And I used that against him.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, as opposed to a chick fighter that had let's say long butt cheeks, that would not be as appealing as a nice bubble ass.
Right. But
long butt cheeks, like sacks of oatmeal long, or
yeah, probably. Yeah.
Oh boy,
I'm getting confused. Like long butt cheeks sounds like a 90-year-old woman ass.
Well, I mean,
oh boy.
Whatever it takes.
So yeah, there's a video that we took last night of Simon decided to try to be cute and say, okay, let's both be Dulcine and see who wins. And I ended up getting a perfect with him just by throwing. I can't wait for him to put that up on Gamer Clash because I told him to save it and put it on the website. Because Gamer Clash is his new podcast of the week. So I can't wait for him to put that up there. That's going to be great.
Let me ask you this real quick. As happy as you are with Super Street Fighter 4, are you excited for what Capcom now has learned with multiplayer modes and things like that for Marvel vs. Capcom 3?
No. I am not a big Versus fan. I liked Marvel vs. Capcom 1. I never really got into 2. The problem with the Versus series is I like to be a technical fighter. And in the Versus series, you really can't be. I like to be able to set moves up. And yeah, you can do it in Versus and everything, but those are more combo heavy, and I'm not a big combo guy. I mean, I'm glad that they learned with Street Fighter 4 going into Super Street Fighter 4. A lot of people are saying, well, this should have all been DLC and blah, blah, blah. And maybe so, but it was a $40 game. You really can't complain about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you probably would have paid $20 for the DLC by itself anyway.
Yeah.
Most likely, yeah. 20 or 30, something like that. So, yeah, I mean, the Versus series is fine. I'm glad that they're bringing it back. Tatsunoko versus Capcom seems like it was a pretty good success for them. So, yeah, we'll see what they end up having with Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but I most likely won't be getting it.
I'm just excited to be able to play maybe a 3-man team that's 3 different people and tag in and out and things like that. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was in Marvel vs. Capcom 1, well, with the 2-man team. And, yeah, we'll see what happens. The problem with that is it's so fast-paced.
Yeah.
I don't know how the online will end up working in the long run. With Street Fighter 4, you pretty much know. We're playing a guy in New Zealand, and when you spectate the match, you're seeing lag. But if you're actually playing him, you're not really noticing any.
Okay.
So the online with Super Street Fighter 4 is a lot better because when I played Chipoko, who's the guy in New Zealand, with vanilla Street Fighter 4, it was unbearable. But in Super, it's actually almost like he's in the room with me with the occasional jitter.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. But even when you and I played, there was that weird. One time we played, there was a full minute of jittery gameplay.
But it's a lot better than what it was, and it doesn't quit out as easily as it does. It improves it over time. What it'll end up doing is cutting the spectators out to improve the actual guys fighting.
So netcode's been optimized and everything, huh?
Yep.
Neat.
I mean, we've had a full room of 8 people at one point.
Wow.
Yeah, there's not enough good that I can say about that game. I can see me playing it religiously for the next 2 years.
So
And hopefully Kyle can actually fix his sloppy inputs.
Yeah. My inputs are just all over the place. People are just exploiting my inputs.
And anybody got anything else?
no, not really.
All right, Kyle, why don't you tell them how they can get in touch with us?
All right, there's a few ways. There is our Twitter account, which is just at Critical Strike, or you can just do it at KR Dumont, which is mine, or at Nacero, which is Josh's. There
And
and what?
jsslifelike for John Steve.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't know your Twitter account off the top of my head. It also wasn't in the spiel, so sorry if I ignored you.
No, I understand completely.
Yeah, you threw me off there, Josh.
Uh-huh.
You could also call us on our voicemail, which is 909C-STRIKE. I don't know the numbers for that, so you're going to have to look at your phone or whatever you use to dial. And
909-278-7453.
see, I was being nice, and I wasn't going to ask you that time.
I was readily prepared this time.
And you can also send us an email at cstrikepodcast@gmail.com.
All right, and you can also catch up with John and Steve at thegamesmen.com, who record every Tuesday?
Yes, we do Tuesdays 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and we're live on gamercorporation.com. And this week is the call-in show, so we have a couple topics lined up. So you guys, we got a phone number you can call in, or you can call on Skype. So we'll be anxious to hear from ya.
When is this call-in?
He just said it, you dipshit.
Just again, I want it in my memory.
Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Actually,
God damn it.
the guys filled in for me since I was sick in the beginning of the week, and Scotsman drew up a bunch of topics, so we're going to revisit them and get a little community input.
Yeah, I actually listened to some of that show when you were out, and I was quite disappointed that you cut out all the Street Fighter praising that Mick said about me in the final episode.
Yeah, there was technical issues. I chopped that thing up and put little segments before segments where they were chronologically not supposed to be and things like that. So
Technical issues, meaning Mick forced him to take that out.
Yeah, probably. Fucking Mormon. All right, and I suppose that's going to do it for us. Please leave us some iTunes reviews, catch up with all of us on Twitter, and check out the Gamesmen on Tuesday at 9 p.m. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yes, have a good evening and a good fortnight.
goodbye.
Peace.
I really need to stop fucking mistaking fiber bars for granola bars.
I saw
I did
that tweet.
Once. I did that once, and I was on the toilet for the next day.
Oh my god. Why did it... My family keeps them in the same place that they keep the granola bars. I know they look exactly the fucking same.
Well, what kills me
two-
is, like, they had some peanut butter fiber bars, and I thought they were peanut butter granola.
That's what it was.
Oh, dude. I was like, these are so delicious, man. I'm going to, like, just grab a handful of them and just, snack on them for a while. Next day, I was like, wait, does that say fiber? Fuck! Oh!
My poor
Yeah,
wife's going through that now. We were sick at the beginning of the week. And,
I
man,
went on the show.
yeah, I was shitting my guts out. I was straight pissing out of my ass for like 3 days. And then
All right, let's
all
save
of a
this
sudden...
good coverage for the podcast.
yeah,
It's a stinger. It's stinger material.
Yeah.
all of a sudden it was just, man, bowel blockage. Like it's like one extreme or the other.
Right.
Yeah, it's generally how it is with me.
Oh God! And now
Yeah.
she's just miserable. She was puking. She was like spewing out of every orifice at the beginning of the week.
Oh, God.
And then after that, now she hasn't shit in a week now. So
Hey,
Oh my
oh,
god.
she is fucking miserable.
yeah. And the whole woman part doesn't help
Oh,
either,
you already know
everybody's-
if she's a woman, you already know she's miserable.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So now you get. Oh wow! I would get out of that house for a week.
God, I have nowhere to go.
Honey, I'm gonna be going to Connecticut to stay with Beer and Beards.
Yeah, right. Oh God, this was my vacation too. I was off this week.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a bad vacation. So how do you want to be introduced?
I don't give a fuck.
Like, do you want to be like called Steve Lifelike?
I don't care. It doesn't
Your
matter.
name's Steve?
Yeah.
That is the most generic name
Oh,
ever.
thanks. Actually, that's my middle name. I have an even more generic first name.
John? Is it John?
Exactly. Yes.
I was gonna
Are
go
you John Steve Johnson?
No. No.
because we say our full name.
That would be terrible. You could just say
What was it?
Steve Conger, Conger. You could say that. I don't care. Don't.
No. We're calling you John Steve.
Oh God.
Or Steve John.
Steve Dave. Yeah.
All right, yeah, Kyle. Since you're doing the intro, you can pick one.
Oh, good.
Yiffy.
I'll just be like also known as Lifelike.
Yeah.